Hey guys, it's Melanie, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how sugar is hidden in your food. Um, Manufacturers go through a great deal of effort to hide the fact that there's sugar in a lot of the foods we're eating. Uh, if you are buying something that's packaged, there's probably sugar in it. If you're not careful, you're going to miss it. I had someone send me something yesterday, and it was a picture of a label, and it actually said that there was zero sugar in it. Like, where it said fat and carbs and protein and fiber, and it said zero for sugar. And I kind of looked over to the side of the picture, and there was sucralose in it. That's sugar. It's hidden in there. How do they hide it? How do they get away with it? I'm not really sure how they get away with it. But I think if you think long enough, you'll understand why, because it comes down to a dollar sign. But I'm not going into that. Let me just mention a few names. And I've got this list here because I can't even remember all of them. I know I've seen a lot of these names. First of all, anything that ends in "ose" is sugar. I don't care what it is. It's sugar on that label. Whether it says 0%, 0 grams, whatever it is, it's in that freaking food. So let me just go on my little list here. Corn sweetener, corn syrup, dextrose, fructose, fruit juice concentrates, glucose, high fructose corn sugar, invert sugar, lactose, maltose, malt fructose, sucrose, sugar syrup, cane crystals, cane sugar, fructose, evaporate cane juice, corn syrup solids, malt syrups. Did you want me to go on? There's over 60 different names to hide the fact that there's sugar in our food. You guys, we don't know what we don't know, right? And this is why I'm kind of wanting to bring this out to people and show you, like, hey, you're really eating the sugar, which some people in this day and age where people are like, well, I'm gonna cut back on sugar, and these things say that there's not a lot of sugar in it. Well, that manufacturer knows that people are looking into low sugar. I mean, it's the day and age where the health and fitness business is $1 million company, and everybody's just sometimes mostly gaining weight, and they don't know why. Because the freaking manufacturers are hiding this crap in our foods. So we think because it says low sugar or made with 100% fruit juice or 25% fruit juice, we think that that's good. Did you see where I said fruit juice was a sugar, fruit juice concentrate? That's in a lot of the juice you're drinking. So you're thinking you're doing yourself better because the package says you are. Talk to someone who is gluten intolerant, and you know how sometimes it says gluten-free on the package? If they're really gluten intolerant and they have celiac and they eat that, man, do they have a reaction. So the labels don't always tell the truth. They kind of omit some of the truth, and that's where we need to do our homework, where I'm telling you we don't know what we don't know, and if we're not looking into this, we have heart attacks coming from this. We have gum disease. We have diabetes. We have liver issues. It's just, this is what we're eating, and if we don't know what is in our food, or at least somewhat what's in our food, we're screwing ourselves. Because if we're trusting these manufacturers when they say low sugar, low fat, low this, low that, anything low, they've taken out an ingredient and put more crap into it. I won't go into that. But, they just go to these huge levels to hide this from us as consumers, because they know that we're kind of maybe going to trust that there is no sugar in this item, and we're not going to look any further than what it says on the front in big, bold letters that's popping out in front of us. Like I said, we think we're eating healthy, but we're really not. So I urge you, when you're, eating this food that you think is low sugar or you think has no sugar in it, flip it over and look at like the first 3-4 ingredients. And if any of those end in "ose" or are any of the names that I mentioned, those are the most common ingredients in that food. Now, if you go down the list, there's probably not as much as the most 3 to 4 ingredients, but those first 3 to 4 ingredients are what is exactly the most ingredients in that food. And then they just kind of go down the list. Sometimes they hide that at the end, or they say, oh, this may contain sugar. Oh, well, does it or doesn't it? Like, this bomb may go off. Will it or won't it? You know, I mean, we have to be our own advocate. We have to do our own homework, and we have to realize that they're hiding this crap in these foods. I was like in shock when I found out there were over 60 different names for sugar. And I know that I had seen a few weeks ago on the news, you know, because sometimes we do studies for these things, sometimes they're funded, and there's a new name for high fructose corn syrup that they're hiding in the food to make you think like, oh, because why? Because a lot of people are realizing, hey, high fructose corn syrup is not so good for us. So they're making it a different name, and guess who's making that acceptable to put into our food? The FDA. Shh. So, do your homework. Figure out what's actually in your food. Flip that label over and freaking read it. Read what is in it, read what the ingredients say, and find out all these 61 names. I will put them in my blog. I will find all 61, and there's probably more names that are hidden in our foods that they're sneaking in and saying, it's not sugar. It's not sugar. It really isn't. Because they don't have to say, oh, this is sugar. But we can change it and make it this name, and they won't know. Well, I hope now you know. And I hope now you do a little more research into it because, you know, I've talked about the ill effects that sugar has on your body, on your heart, and, you know, we're going to go into like, hey, what is sugar addiction? Am I addicted to sugar? You could be because you think you're not eating it and it's hidden in your food. So I'm going to give signs. I'm going to talk about signs about that in the next episode of like, hey, this is what a sugar addict is like. Now, I said this before and I'll say it again. I am not perfect. I have changed a lot of things. I will eat gummy bears every now and again, but I don't keep these kind of things in my house. Like, it's a moderation kind of treat for me because I know what I didn't know before. And that's why I'm sharing this with you guys, because you need to do your homework. You need to trust you and you only. And when it comes down to your health and the fact that, you know, we're finding out that some of these things that we're actually eating are harming us and we thought they weren't, how could you not want to do homework on it? How could you not want to look into it? How could you not be skeptical of the fact that, well, wait, the package says no sugar. Well, they can't lie to us, can they? Yeah, they can. They can. It's all about the dollar amount. It's all about the money, I think, for them. Because if it wasn't, then someone wouldn't allow them to put that on the package, right? I'm going to stop that one right there. Just do your homework. Find out the names of sugar that they're using to fake you out and make you think that just because they put 0 sugar on there really isn't. If you want to cut down your sugar intake, these are things you really have to look into. So I'm hoping that this has brought some light to some of the more people who want to actually like say, hey, you know what, maybe I need to start reading nutrition labels. Maybe I need to flip that thing over and see like what does it look like? What's in it? Are there hidden sugars in it? What am I feeding my kids? What am I feeding my family? Do it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with making a few changes, because one little change every day adds up to a lot. You know, heart disease is in my family, and I refuse to see that in my future. I refuse. So I'm doing everything I can to keep it out, because like, we're really young. Like, we're into our 40s in my family when the things start happening, like bad things. 40, 43, 46. I don't want to be that person. So you guys do your homework, look into it, figure it out. I will post in my blog all of those 60 plus names that sugar has and that's hidden in the crap that we think is good. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Stay tuned, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.